This is Trans Africa Radio.
He is very, very much lauded. He was named the lead SA hero by a particular radio station and the Star newspaper in 2014. He went on to be named by Mail and Guardian as one of the 200 young people for 2017 to go check out. And of course, very influential. He was also profiled on Destiny Man magazine. He's been interviewed on CNBC Africa, SAFM, Radio 2000, and many others. And of course, he has been a public speaker, a motivational speaker. He inspires the community. And today we have the absolute pleasure of having him in the studio as a hashtag Mentor guest. Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome.
What a great honor. This is my first ever Trans Africa Radio interview.
Wow, so this is your inauguration into Trans Africa Radio.
Yeah.
Give me exclusives. Mel, thank you so much for coming through into the studio. We've got a lot to chat about. I mean, you've just come from a speaking engagement in Pretoria.
Yes.
And I was asking, what was it about? And I thought it was quite interesting. So if you just for the benefit of my listeners, just go back and tell us, what were you doing in the capital today?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always a great honor, to go back where I come from and just to relate my story with so many young people. Young people, they just admire what they see, especially on media, especially with one of my recent achievements, being named by Forbes Africa magazine as one of the 30 under 30 entrepreneurs to look out for in Africa. So people, they just admire what they see, but it's always a blessing for me to go back and read my story, my challenges, my upbringing, and also just to relate and tell them what made me to be the man that I am today.
And quite a formidable man you are. I mean, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So you've got the EBonoko Holdings, which is your company, and on adjacent to that you have the EBonoko Foundation, which is where you do most of your social entrepreneurship. And you've got a CV the length of my arm, holding a BCom degree among others. And you started this all when you were just 19 years old.
I was 19. Doing my first year at UNISA, BCom degree towards marketing. But my journey is very interesting because I started with the foundation first before I went to the holding company. And through the foundation, that's where I was able to build a lot of networks and also to build a name for myself. And as much as I was mocked quite a lot that why are you sitting with the foundation where there's no money coming in? But for me, the foundation really gave me so much exposure. I built great networks that really paid off, and also some of the networks, they became some of my clients under the holding company.
Nice.
So the foundation, I'll forever say I'm the man that I am based on the foundation, and I still love, doing the work under the foundation, giving out books, helping young people with bursaries, mentorship and training. That's part of me, that's what I stand for. But in years to come, I knew that I'm going to evolve and, embark on other business interests, and which I did before getting my degree in marketing.
So explain to me, I mean, you are 19 years old. I didn't know where I was standing, where I was going, where my left and my right were when I was 19 years old. And you already had the foresight of wanting to be a social entrepreneur, and not knowing how this whole system works. One, why did you get into social entrepreneurship when everyone else is, trading Forex and trying to make T-shirts to sell on campus, and you go into social entrepreneurship? I mean, my guest last week said to me that it is indeed a calling. Is it a calling for you?
To be honest, when I was setting up, I never knew the word social entrepreneurship exists. I think now it's a big word, especially recently in South Africa from last year, the social entrepreneurship. But for me, I never even thought that I'm a social entrepreneur. I was just, I'm doing what I love and what I got passion for, which is young people. But as you grow and you evolve, you obviously you need to equip yourself. You need to read books, and the kind of work that I was doing, people said, actually, this is more social. So you're a social entrepreneur. But when I was starting, I did not sort of say I am a social entrepreneur. I was just doing what I love, what I got passion for, and but for me also through the foundation, this is where I discovered so much about myself and who I am, what I stand for, and and also just to learn so much about business. So my foundation is an NGO. So it's not profit making, but also I believe that you can be social and still make a lot of money. I got most of my friends who are social entrepreneurs, but they're not broke, they are multi-millionaires. So it's possible to be social and still make money.
I mean, that was the conversation we had when you came in. That we've decided that charity is you give out the good of your heart. You make what you give what you can. You take out of your pocket, and if anything, charity usually impoverishes you because you have to take off your own and give. But no one ever tells you that you can make a living as a social entrepreneur.
Very true.
And it's almost sort of divergent. It's almost like an oxymoron in terms. Can we make a good living as social entrepreneurs?
You can, a lot of millions. A lot. I've seen, I got friends who are doing exceptional well as social entrepreneurs, and also, just for them to look within the economy, the communities and see what project they can embark on and make money. It might be from environmental space, it might be from education. A friend of mine also got a company called School Media, where they work with schools, but still, and it's an advertising company, but they're addressing social issues. And it's doing exceptional well. So it's possible.
When you picked the vehicle of your social entrepreneurship, the subject matter of your social entrepreneurship being young people and leadership. Well, where did that come from? Because there's much easier branches to get into. You can, do like a soup kitchen every Thursday and leave it at that, where it requires less of a longevity. Giving bursaries away, one, is very, very capital intensive. And secondly, it's very long because a degree is at least 3 years long, a diploma is 2 years long. So you're really in for the long haul. Why this very difficult area of social entrepreneurship?
You know what? And as I've mentioned that I don't want to take all the credits alone. For me to be where I am and what I've done, also it was based on the people that were able to believe in the vision that I have. And obviously I knew that it's going to require a lot of capital intensive. Till today we still require a lot of money to embark on some of the projects. But I was blessed enough to build great networks, which they were able to pay it off. So what we did, we partnered with the Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation. So they give us bursaries, and we go back to some of the schools that we did adopt in townships, and we award them bursaries. The mentorship, what we do, like everywhere I go, give talks, when we host events, that's where we invite young people just to be a part of what we do, and for me that's mentorship, because it's practical. They can even see some of the challenges that I go through, as an entrepreneur. But for me, what worked most was a matter of being able to build networks, and also I've worked with great corporates that really believe in the vision that I have, and it was easy, for me to embark on this journey. As much as it's tough, you have to sell yourself, to people. Until today, as an entrepreneur, forever proving yourself that you can do it and you believe in what you do.
The holding company, which is a private company, will then specialize in a range of products, which I think this is where you get your
my mullah.
I don't want to put it that way, but now that you said it, it's fine. But you specialize in PR, in events, in project management, in event, in brand management, in business, in speakers management, which is very akin to what you're doing. So it's also an extension of what the foundation would do and what the holding company would do. But when you got into the marketing space, did you foresee that there'd be such a symbiosis between the two parts of your corporate identity?
Definitely. I knew after, when I was studying towards my become degree in marketing, that I'm gonna start a marketing company. I knew it from the word go. And even when I was still at varsity, when I was still in high school, I was one of those students who were organizing the events at school.
You're the matric dance guy.
Yes. Trying to get a bit of fundraising then there, organizing. So I knew that even when I go to varsity, definitely I'm gonna study marketing, which I did well. But before I went to graduate, already I was in the eventing space, but more corporate events. And normally when you do an event, you must be a good organizer. You must be a good PR person. A good communicator in terms of doing all the communication. You must be able to sell, the idea to corporate to come and invest. And I was able to do that within a tender age, and I'll get corporates to come and invest towards our events. And over the years, we've been doing some of the biggest events, in South Africa, on leadership, business events, but mainly also going back to townships, just to embrace the spirit of entrepreneurship amongst young people. And we have worked with some of the biggest, again, names, in the business and leadership, the likes of Puti Mahanyele, Bonam Mohali, Leslie Sidibe, and great corporates, so events were big on that. And also we do a lot of PR, corporate PR. The list is endless, man. As an entrepreneur, you must always evolve and grow, never limit yourself. And it's not even about just, even learning about the market, but sometimes it takes the courage to go without having a full experience and test it and see out and learn. Learning is the key. I've got entrepreneurs that never even went to school, but they're doing well. As much as I believe in the power of education, that you can embrace entrepreneurship without undermining education. But I got friends that don't even have matric who have done exceptional well. So it was a matter of, just, being open-minded, being also teachable, learning from people who are doing the work. So for me, some of the service that that we just have learned doing a bit of research, and you package it, bring a bit of value, you go to the market and sell it.
I mean, you have done quite a lot across the spectrum in a very short space of time.
Yes.
And I mean, you've got your mentee here, but the first question is, who mentored you? Who was the person who then molded the spirit in you? Because I do believe that as innately as it is built into the person, it needs a bit of extraction. It needs a bit of molding. It needs a bit of refining for you to be able to get it out. So I mean, who was the person who held Emmanuel's hand and said, okay, this is what you do? Who did you bounce your ideas off?
Okay, something that I've learned on my journey is that it's good to seek mentorship, but you still do 90% of the work.
True.
So most of young people, they seek mentorship, but they're not willing to go out and work and do their part. So I had to do the work and go and present to a possible mentor that, please, I mean, mentor me, but this is what I've done. This is what I can do. And it's easy for people to believe based on what you have done.
Yeah.
You know, don't go say, I'm thinking of starting, I'm about. People that don't like that. Say, this is what I've done, and I'm looking mentorship based on the following. You know, it might be spirituality, it might be finances, it might be business. So be specific. But now I went to Putima Hanyele, the former group of Shanduga.
Yes, Shanduga Holdings.
Yes, one of the influential, powerful businesswomen that we have in Africa, exceptional woman, and she was able to really open doors for me to learn. And even I had the honor to work too close to Sira Maposa. Due to her, you know, she really opened so many doors, but she could see the way that we have done, my man, you know, the track record. So it was easy for it to really invest what we're doing. So Putima Hanyele, the likes of Mam Felicia Mavuza, also they've been there quite a lot. The list is endless.
I mean, I find it so interesting that a very big part of your mentorship came from women.
Yes.
And I think we underestimate, and we continue to, because of just the nature of the patriarchal society we find ourselves in. Just how, you know, we've got women who are doing formidable things on a daily basis, and who are molding a generation. I mean, I've got two, very well established, very smart men in front of me because of women.
Yes.
And I mean, we'll talk about. Don't worry, Tony, I got you. We'll chat to you in a second. But for they seem to be so instrumental in this environment. Is there a lack of male entrepreneur, I don't want to use the word role model, because role model, kind of spills over to your private life as well. But of mentors to take young men in this continent and put them in the same track that you're doing. I mean, I know you're mentoring right now, but you seem to be, of a small pool of men who are putting that in. And I asked this specifically because it is Youth Month, and we're seeing 1,000 youth. I mean, coming here to work, every robot, there's a beggar, there's a guy. I've got two personal stories of my own about people who are close to me who are waiting for a woman to help them out, who are not willing to work themselves out. So are we being a little sexist in the entrepreneurship space?
Not exactly. I still do have so many mentors, that are male, and they've been there for me, and also very supportive. But sometimes, to be honest, you need a mentor that is able also to believe in you. So before I don't want to name them because also they've done exceptionally well. They will say we mentor you, but you cannot see any impact on your growth.
True.
So when you say you got a mentor, you must see impact. They must open doors for you as much as you're doing your part. But there are people, when they see greatness in you, they don't want to open that door for you. You're okay when you're just doing smaller nyana there.
But is that not is that not symptomatic of the black who's made it syndrome? You are in a corporate, and because I am the black person who's achieved, who's gone through the fire, I have now made it through. Thank goodness. Despite the challenges, in spite of them, I'm here where I am right now. And then Emmanuel comes through, and I'm like, listen, buddy, you have to pay your dues as well, because I did. Is there a lot of that where we
a lot? I still see it till today. In the corporate, we still look down on each other, especially as black people. We still oppress each other. I've seen that. I mean, even in the business world, there's a competition, and I love what I see on social media. They say collaboration now is the new innovation.
Yes, it is.
So it's about time that as black people we really join forces. We support each other. So that spirit of collaboration is still lacking amongst us.
Which is the old age spirit of Ubuntu that we've always had. It's always been sort of implicit in how our business dealings are. So I mean, today we're talking about sort of building the future leaders of South Africa and Africa, and where we start. And you, I mean, by a complete chance, have brought Tweni in. Hi, Tweni.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm very fine, man.
So there's like the master. and a student.
Yeah. I
So
guess
let's talk about your journey with Emmanuel. When did you meet Emmanuel? When did it start? Why are you here with him?
Well, I first met him beginning 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was end 2014, approaching 2015. And then when I met him, the first time we met, we were going to an event at UJ in Auckland Park. So now there was a lead essay event there. I think it was awards or something like that. Let me tell you this now. I wasn't even dressed to the part. I had like just a jean, a sweater on, and some sneakers, because I had slept over at a friend of mine's place. And then, so that friend of mine knew Emmanuel. So they're like, no, let's go with him together to UJ. I'm like, no, man, but then I'm not even dressed. The party's like, no, let's just go. And then when we got there, man, the synergies, the energy there was just, it was just mutual between us. And then we got to know each other from there. I remember when I first started speaking to him, it was more because I was a bit reserved. So he was more interested in what I was doing or what I'm about. So he started asking questions. And then the more I answered his questions, I could see his interest growing. Yeah. Calling me Lelo Bon Larish. So as the interest grew, fine, we went to the event, and then the next time he had to meet up with that friend of mine again called Leroy, and he was like, no, bring Lelo Bon Larish. That's when I knew, this guy, I think this guy liked me and he liked what I stand for. Because I've always told myself that, as people, we're different. Yeah? You find people who will give Emmanuel as an example. He's tall, you can see, a man of great stature. So when he walks into a room, he demands his attention. The aura demands that attention. So some of us, Abana Mudimu, didn't give us that height.
You and I have the same problem. Yeah, just down here in the world.
Yeah, you see. So now other people can just command attention by just standing there and people just feeling their energy. But then with us, it's like we have to work twice as hard. So I've always made it a point that when I open my mouth, I reek of substance, because I know that's the only way that I'll catch someone else's
I like that, a reek of substance. Wow, Emmanuel. So what did you see in 20 when you met him? I mean, for me, the practicalities of this building a leader. I was saying, in the week that for me, it's so confusing sometimes. People say we need to build leaders, right? Yeah. But we never tell them how. We never say what are the building blocks required for a leader. Yes. So you've got someone like 20 next to you, and what did you see in him to go, there might be something here that can be extracted?
For me, it was a matter of he was very teachable. Yeah. And I always emphasize the spirit of teachability amongst young people. We've got, youth, especially these days, they don't want to be taught. Sometimes we assume that we know everything. So people like Buchweni, and they're like, I'm here, I'm willing to learn, and even willing to not say do dirty work per se, but to be hands-on, because people, they just admire the glory, what you have achieved, but they don't know behind the scene, their sacrifice, so many things happen behind the scene. Yeah. And so people like John, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to be hands-on. It's like, I can invest on him, and above all, grow together. And over the years, we've done exceptional well, and also just to see him grow and be profiled on also other media platforms, speaking about their foundation, and because also he's doing amazing stuff out there. So teachability for me was key. I'm willing to grow with him.
We'll talk about his teachability and other traits that make a very good mentee, and also a future leader, because I think we also need to work out exactly what are the traits. Yes. As in entrepreneurship, not everyone can come in and be an entrepreneur. Some of us, are better at speaking. Others are better at actually doing the grinding and the legwork. But also then want to talk about you being named to Forbes top 30 under 30s to look out for, apart from your Mail & Guardian top 200. He's got that list out. 9 minutes past the hour of 7 p.m. Central African time. News, views, reviews and interviews and everything you've come to expect this side of the equator. Two wonderful people in studio. We thought we had one guest, but we've got a nice bansela on the side, a bonus. We have my guest in studio. His name is Emmanuel Bonoko. He comes through with his mentee, protege. Emmanuel, what does it take to be Forbes 30 under 30 apart from being under 30?
Sure. That was one of my greatest achievements, to be honest. Really opened so many doors. I got my first funding after being on Forbes, and all these years, all the government sectors, they were not keen to give me funding towards my business and my foundation. It gave me the privilege to work with the great ministers in South Africa, our deputy president. It really opened so many doors, whereby I was getting calls from government sector, said, comrade, how much
I like that. Comrade! Name your price.
You know, but for me, it also the matter. It was about time because I've been embracing the process. Every time when I go, I always emphasize the power of the process. That in order for you to be great and significant, you must learn to embrace the process. Where not every person will believe in you, not every person will really invest on you. So it takes time, and most of young people these days they want to go through the process. You know, rejection, hardships. I've been there. So when I was on Forbes, I mean, really opened so many doors, but also was ready. But also it was sort of an intensive criteria they want.
Yeah.
Obviously they want to know how well your business is doing, all the clients that you have worked with, they will call them, they want your bank statement. So it's back and forth. You know,
bank statements even. Forbes knows a little too much.
Yes, you know, financial statements of the company and turnovers and so forth. But it's a great platform, you know, for especially growing entrepreneurs that can leverage on that platform. So for me, I had to leverage on it, you know, and also open doors for others.
Do you find, and you know, with taking nothing away from you and your journey, I mean, you've come from humble beginnings yourself.
Yes.
Your mom is a single mom,
Yeah.
And she was a domestic worker, so she did really put in a lot of work for you to be where you are.
Yeah.
And you do stand on the shoulders of great giants.
Yeah.
But do you find that, you know, you run an NGO, and for me, the NGO sector is actually quite an interesting dichotomy between doing the work the government ought to be doing, and also doing the work the government cannot do because of, you know, the structural, you know, we've got ministers who have to do the day-to-day running of corporate of the corporation being, you know, South Africa Pty Ltd, and or Pty rather, and then finding yourself having to pick up the slack. Do you find that, you know, in the position you find yourself in as an NGO, that you get the support from the corridors of power?
After a couple of years, you know, after doing the work, that's why I started to get a bit of help from the government, you know. But till today, you know, it's quite a tough, you know, journey. Corporates, they're not willing to support emerging entrepreneurs or even NGOs. It takes time, you know. But also, as I've mentioned, like, you need to build a track record. People, they really want to trust you with their money. And for over the years, one is being you know, blessed enough where now you get phone calls, say, you know, how can we help you? How can we support you? Because people, they've seen the track record. But it takes time. I don't want to lie. You know, so many young people out there got brilliant ideas. They've got great ideas they want to embark on, but they don't have support. You know? So that's why I said it's about time. Us here on the ground, let's join forces, let's support each other. And that's what I've been doing through my foundation, where, you know, I bring young people together, say, let's come with solutions right here, right now. You know, don't wait for the government. You know, let's leverage on each other's expertise and skills. And
what are the structural you know, hindrances for you to work on a daily basis? I ask because, you know, you're sitting in an environment where you're doing amazing work. I don't think anyone could ever, you know, fault you on that. But it still seems that there are structural imbalances, because for someone sitting on the outside looking in, I would assume that in the registration of your NGO, so you have to register for, you know, section whatever tax breaks and all kinds of things, so that your donors they themselves can get a tax break. But in the process of registering an NGO, should there not be some sort of due diligence that is done, so that when the government looks down and looks at all these people who are sitting there, they can see who to assist? I think it's a little too much for, you know, you to be knocking on doors on a daily basis. I mean, Trini was saying to me earlier on, Trini, you can also attest to this, that, you know, you guys have to knock on so many doors just to get funding for very noble things, where you as a young person might even get discouraged and say, why do I even bother? I can just get a job somewhere else.
Okay, one thing that I've learned also over the years is that government, they are vocal about entrepreneurship. They are vocal about entrepreneurship, but they do nothing. To be honest.
Is there support?
The support is there, but it takes time. The support is there, but it takes time. But I've seen more private, they are more supportive. You know, and I was blessed enough that I've worked with a number of private organizations like Shell. They really put their money where they see potential. But
where does it end? Where does where does it stop? Where is the miscommunication? Where's the, you know, disjuncture between government, corporate South Africa and the NGO sector? Because I would assume that in a subject where, for instance, if you get a training to do very well as an entrepreneur, you will employ Leroy, Sbo, and Levi, and we will work there, and therefore, you know, helping out the government with issues of unemployment. So it is a very mutually beneficial relationship. Where do they fall short?
For me, one that I've seen, they come with all this principles or strategic mission statement they implement on our behalf instead of coming on the ground and just to get our take. I believe it's about time that before the government go and implement any strategy, they must come on the ground, say what are you struggling with within your business. So they go ahead and implement all this, come with all this policy, they come with all this incubation, and they don't really help entrepreneurs, and especially with us, we do so many business events in townships. We've got an initiative called the Back to Katsi, and where we engage with young people on the ground, and we've been doing well, and also the support from entrepreneurs within townships. We see great business within townships, great business ideas, but they need support. So the government they just come with this ideas, implementation and strategy, but they really don't know what's happening on the ground, and even the criteria, the red tape that young people are still facing, for them to access funding is still quite difficult. For you to get funding, there's too much restriction, red tape, and I think that's where we are going wrong. So they must really come on the ground and hear out from entrepreneurs on the ground, and maybe there'll be a significant progress.
Do you find that the government is misguided in where they're putting their pressures? We've got a public protector coming through and saying that a Bancorp has to pay for the historical, the acquisition of Bancorp by ABSA, and therefore, there's R1 billion possibility that, ABSA would have to pay R1 billion in reparations. But do you think that we are sort of looking in the wrong corridors, because we should be focusing on education, entrepreneurship, on feeding the people on the ground?
It might be the case, but also, you see in the budget speech the government has spent a lot of billions towards SMEs, but we don't know where the money goes to. Every time when young people say, I'm looking for funding, support, it's like, no, we're working on our little kitty, there's not enough money.
What is it? The public purse is strained, is the term.
They say, we're working on a restricted
budget.
Yes, they like the word, but for us, just to see the progress that we have made over the years, it's quite humbling that against all odds, people that were able to support us and say, we believe in what you do through your foundation and also EBonoko Holdings, and we'll support you. But as time goes, as they see you progress and do well, they come say, how can we be part of what you do?
Let's look at what it takes then to build these leaders. What are the building blocks? You mentioned that teachability is quite a factor in, and we have a real life example training right next to you. But what are the people who are sitting in the corridors of big business and they're looking out? Who should they be looking out for? What does it take to build a leader? What are those things that we should be looking out for? Because it's all good and well for us to take in every guy who comes through with an idea at the door, but we do, and in fact have limited funding, whether you are a corporate or you are South Africa PTY.
For me, I always say, I've learned this from training. He always say we got more of talkpreneurs, meaning that people, they spend time doing a lot of talking without any implementation, and that's where we go wrong as young people. We spend time, I got this brilliant idea, I got this good idea, but no implementation. So it's about time that as young people we really go out and work, really get your hands dirty. That's something that I've done well over the years, and it doesn't matter where I am, but I had to learn to work. So young people want to do well, you must just get things done, and above all, teachability for me is key. If you really want to grow and progress in life, you must be teachable. Don't ever assume that you know too much. I remember last year we had a contract with Department of Gauteng Enterprise Development, through EBonoko Holdings, and we're trying to employ young people to come and work with us. They come that I got a degree in accounting, I'm from Wits University, I'm from UJ, so I'm expecting 20 grand per month, and things like that. So meaning that young people, they're not willing to work their way up. And for me, I had to start somewhere. So, young people want to start their business, you need to start somewhere. You need to really work, be teachable, humble yourself, and also learn from even people who are selling fruits on the street. You can learn something significant that can really help you to grow as an entrepreneur. And I've learned that, just to be open-minded, just to learn from others, and also the power of mentorship. Also, social media for me is key. You can learn about a person on social media, what you stand for, and also for me, how can I put it? I've had so many business opportunities through Facebook. I'll get an inbox from Coca-Cola saying, want to endorse some of your work. Shell also, they inbox me on social media because I'm very consistent in terms of the content that I share on social media, about my business, about what I stand for. No check-in, no bay, no muntu wami at a hotel. No,
or Tambo International.
No, for me it's about my business, about empowering the next black child, and that's why even corporates, they approach me, say come and make an appearance, we'll pay you 20 grand, just like that. Social media consistency. So young people, they must learn to leverage on the power of social media, and also not to feel the pressure to impress, because now young people, there's that pressure that I need to impress my friends, that I can afford this, I can buy this, but for me, I use social media to impact lives out there, and also just to brand myself and connect with the right people. So for me, those criteria can work.
I mean Chini, I want to ask this to you in particular, because you're of that age. I mean, you are newly 20 something. We won't mention exactly how.
No, it's
because
fine.
23. So he's 23, and you, I mean, exactly in the middle of the youth pool. What do you find are the issues between you and your peers when you look at other 23-year-olds in your space? What is the conversation happening there? Because Emmanuel and I can have the conversation about these 23-year-olds, about these young people, but what is actually happening on the ground that we're not seeing? Is it a drug issue? Is it wanting to be famous? What is it that's stopping the rest of the 23-year-olds from embarking on a challenge such as yourself?
The one thing that I can tell you that affects most of my peers is the fear of the unknown. Okay, so we might sit here and then ask a question like, who wants money? We're all gonna raise up our hands, but then in essence we don't all want money, because it depends on the person who's willing to go through whatever that needs to be gone through in order to access the money that person wants. So people have this fear instilled in them. So I don't know whether to blame it on the education system or the upbringing, because I mean, we can only use the apartheid era as a crutch for so long. So the one problem that I find is the fear of the unknown, because people don't want to jump into somewhere they've never, an unknown territory. People are very, wary of that, and because now they don't realize that the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And another problem facing us, as Emmanuel mentioned right now, people are always seeking, like, people are out for relevance. That's the biggest problem, because now, if you find on social media, people are leading fake lives.
They always say that they wish that your life is as prosperous as it seems on Instagram.
Exactly. We find our sisters being victims of this blessy syndrome, all because now she wants to take a pic in Zimbabwe or on a resort in the
next to Maserati.
Exactly. And then for her to get followers and likes on Instagram, relevance, and then now she sacrifices her entire being just to get there. So relevance, I think, kills those people. And then in terms of people fearing the unknown, is that the fear now is instilled in a sense where, like, I'll say it in an entrepreneurial point of view. We all want to be somewhere in life, but then now the problem is, we always find it hard partnering with people or working with people, because now everyone, or almost the greater majority of our population, is conditioned to work for as opposed to work with. So I think the one thing that drives everything right there is fear.
Do you think that there is not enough examples of how people like Emmanuel, who we don't have the track record of where they started and how they got to where they are? Because all the stories we see are all the success stories. No one tells you about. I mean, Emmanuel, you can attest to this when you're looking for airtime and money to make that phone call to the sponsor or to the endorser, and you're looking for that. Is there a huge miscommunication about just how difficult the journey is? Because everyone wants to be Emmanuel, everyone wants to be in a Maserati, everyone wants to be in Zimbabwe, and no one knows the actual walked path.
The problem is, one thing I've realized is that people don't care why you try, because as far as everyone is concerned, we all try. So if you're gonna show me, we're now saying you don't have the money for transport to go to that meeting, the person is like, I didn't have money to go to work too, so what is it that you're telling me? In as much as we can relate, people will only start listening or paying attention to you once they can see the tangibles. Once they can see maybe the cars. We need to embrace servanthood, because we cannot lead without having served. And then this is now made simple, because now it's easy for me to have a mentor, but then for that mentor to really believe in me, I must induce people to serve me by my willingness to serve them. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah, exactly. So people are quick to come, like he mentioned, we do a lot of corporate events, and then you find that we have well-established entrepreneurs or even public figures at the events, and then people that know us will literally just come there on the day of the event, and they'd be like, yo man, just get me in touch with Meputi Mahanyele, arrange a pic for me and DJ's Boo, stuff like that. But then I'm thinking, how chief, while we were busy preparing for this event, I told you, come through, let us work together. So that, but then people who are not there in the background want to be now in the forefront on the actual day, and then they want to seem like, but then it's now for someone who's been doing the hard work. I will not let that happen because I don't know your heart and I don't know where your commitment lies.
And it continues into business as well.
Exactly.
Because, until I've seen what you can do, I won't come in.
So how many do we have?
We're now going to number 4.
Number 4. Commitment.
Yeah.
I like that. You need to commit. Most of people, in order for you to get support from somewhere, also you need to really do your part. You need to believe in your own dreams, your own goals. You need to commit. So sometimes we have people say, please invest on me, but you haven't done any investment towards your personal growth.
Yeah.
So for me, I've learned about that personal investment is key. Invest on yourself. As I've mentioned, do research, buy business books, buy, and also network as much as you can. So that's commitment. Commit towards your dreams before the next person can commit on you. So personal commitment is key.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Number 5, develop a thick skin, because you're gonna get a lot of naysayers. Some people are gonna mock you, tell you that you're not on the right path. People, tend to play God and judge, whereas God is the only one with that power. You see? So you need to develop a thick skin.
All right, so that's 5 key points. You need mentorship, you need to do your part, some personal investment, servanthood, commitment, and grow a thick skin, which goes hand in hand with discipline. So when we come back on the other side of this, we'll say goodbye to my #mentor guest. Thank you so much, actually, Emmanuel. It's been a very insightful conversation.
Thank you so much.
Trini, it was lovely having you as well.
Thank
But
you
before we leave, we'll chat about, what the next projects are, where we can get hold of you and the like. So just hang 10 for us. But before we go to that, let's do a little Burner Boy. Just get our breath back. Going back to my #mentor guest, his name is Emmanuel Bonoko. He's in the studio with me. Finally, Emmanuel, your parting words to just the youth.
In closing, I'll say that never assume that somebody's not important based where they are today.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where
That's
they might
good.
be tomorrow. That's a quote by my mentor, Putimanyele. And when I look at my journey, as I was starting up, I was told that I'll not amount to anything. I might just forget about this foundation and whatsoever. But when I look at, over the years, based on what I've achieved, the impact that also one has made, the employment that one was also able to create, it's quite a humbling journey. So I'll say to people out there, believe in yourself, believe in your abilities, and let's work together. Let's work together. I'm on social media, Emmanuel Sir Bonoko, and Twitter at Emmanuel Bonoko, and my website www.EBonokoHoldingsLtd.co.za and EBonokoFoundation.co.za.
If you just go and type Emmanuel's name, Emmanuel, Bonoko, his name will also come up. So you don't need to know the handle in particular. You can just go and search his name and he will pop up over there.
Thank you for the invite.
When is the book coming out? You need to write a book.
Definitely. It's coming out. It's coming out soon. And it's going to be published within Africa.
I think you need to. I say to people who I think stories are noteworthy, and I'm quite happy with the work you're doing now.
Yeah.
But I think also there's a lot to be gained from your journey, because
Definitely.
From 19 to where you are right now, and I do think you've got a very big, future ahead of you.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you. Maybe you would be at number 1 on the Forbes list.
Definitely.
Or highest earners.
Yes. They said
different list.
They said billionaires to look out for.
Exactly.
Yes. So it's Forbes 30 under 30. Future billionaires to look out for.
I'm gonna keep your number, and I'm gonna call you in about 7 or 8 years just to see how far we are on our billion.
If I'm getting there,
on our billion. And I think it's so lovely to have people who have put their money where their mouths are, who've put their businesses where their mouths are. But more importantly, I do believe entrepreneurship and servant leadership are calling. I think it is such a difficult journey to go if you're not passionate about it, that you will lose very quickly. And the people who have done it for the wrong reasons, we see them littering the side of the road right now. And I think you've got a great future ahead of you. And I think Forbes better look at you very, very carefully. And I look forward to when your story is narrated many years from now, that we see just how much you've amassed in social currency, but more importantly in helping the people of our continent out. So, 23 years old. Yeah. You will be also on the Forbes 30 to look out for very soon.
Very, very soon.
So I'm going to make my investment now in you. So I'm going to give you the investment right now, and I'll be withdrawing in a couple of years' time. But I think hold on to him. He's going to teach you amazing things.
Thank you. you very much.
So EBonoko on Emmanuel Bonoko on Twitter, and of course his foundation is the EBonoko Foundation, right? On .co.za.
Yeah.
You can find that over there, but you just Google him. He's there and has a very handsome face, and you'll see it on our podcast, which is released on Tuesday. So you can check it out over there, and of course Transafrica TV on YouTube, and on our website transafricaradio.net is where you can see all these lovely conversations and also get to interact with us over there. Right now, coming through though, the top 10 to 8, the top 10 of everything you need to know this side of the equator, and this week we're talking BET Awards.
This is Transafrica Radio.